Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zaky, student ID 165, and today I stand on the opposition side as the leader of opposition council. Okay, let's just begin. Honorable Chair, ladies and gentlemen, as the leader of opposition, I stand to firmly reject the idea that we should neglect the culture of validation created by social media platforms. Before I enter my case, let me finally identify the Prime Minister's setup. The PM defines culture of validation as people seeking likes, comments, and online approval, and claims that this culture creates long-term harm to mental health and relationships. Their burden is to prove that these harms are so serious and unavoidable that society should regret the existence of this culture entirely. Meanwhile, the opposition's burden, as they mention, is to show that the culture is not inherently harmful, that people have agency and the benefits outweigh the harms. Now let me move to my reputation. The Prime Minister argues that validation culture diminishes self-esteem, makes people insecure and pushes them to compare themselves with influencers. But this argument generalizes all social media users as passive or vulnerable. The truth is, self-esteem issues existed long before social media. People compared themselves with celebrities, magazines, and classmates even in the 90s and early 20s. Social media did not create insecurity, it simply changed where people express it. Second, the PM ignores user agency. Millions of people use social media without tying their self-worth to likes. Digital literacy is increasing, but young people today are very aware of filters, editing, and curated perfection. They don't automatically believe everything they see online. Third, the PM assumes like it's as same as insecurity, but many use like simply as feedback, not validation. A student posting artwork is not seeking insecurity, but they are seeking visibility, engagement, and growth. In many cases, validation culture actually improves confidence by giving people encouragement and they don't get in real life. So the harm PM claims is not universal and not inherent to the culture. It depends on the individual, not the platform. And let's move to the second question. The PM claims validation culture causes emotional addiction, weakens face-to-face relationships, and makes people focus on popularity rather than authenticity. Again, this argument assumes the worst case scenario is the general case. Checking your phone often does not automatically mean addiction. Notifications are a part of modern communications, just like texting, calling, or checking emails. The PM treats normal behavior as pathological. Second, social media strengthens relationships more than it weakens them. People maintain long-distance friendships, reconnect with relatives, and support communities. They cannot reach physically. Many teenagers build supportive friendships online, especially those who feel isolated in their real environment. This is the opposite of weakening relationships. Third, emotional dependence existed in other forms as well. People used to depend on letters, calls, or even physical compliments to reassurance. The PM exaggerates the harm by ignoring the benefits of connections, community, and emotional support that social media provides. Therefore, the government fails to prove that validation culture apparently diminishes relationships or creates unavoidable emotional harm. Now let me move on to presenting the opposition's argument. Our first argument is validation culture encourages people to create, participate, and improve themselves. Positive feedback, even in the form of likes and comments, motivates users to develop skills in photography, writing, art, fashion, fitness, and content creation. Instead of being harmful, feedback helps people gain confidence and track their progress. Millions of young creators today started with simple posts and game skill because social media supported this creativity. Many students share their achievements, academic projects, or talents and receive encouragements that wishes to continue. If validations inspire growth, skill building, and participation, then society should not forget this culture. Instead, we should recognize the positive role it plays in motivating young. Now, let's move to the second argument. Validation culture builds supportive communities and emotional resilience. People today face stress, loneliness, and pressure. Online validation, when healthy, creates a sense of connection. A simple "I'm proud of you" comments can mean a lot to someone who lacks support offline. Support groups for mental health, chronic illness, hobbies, language learning, even academic struggles all rely on likes, comments, and interaction to show empathy. The validation is not superficial, it builds real emotional safety nets. Because these communities reduce loneliness and encourage resilience, the culture of validation works as a positive social tool rather than a harmful one. If you remove the culture, we remove countless spaces that where people feel seen and supported. Ladies and gentlemen, the government's case relies on exaggeration and extreme examples. They fail to prove that validation cultures is inherently harmful, that society must regret it. Their harms depend on how individuals use social media, not on the existence of validation itself. Meanwhile, the opposite has shown clear benefits. Validation motivates personal growth, builds confidence, expands creativity, and strengthens online and real-life communities. It provides connections, belonging, and support in a modern world that can often feel isolating. For this reason, we strongly reject the motion. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.